I'm Dana, and today's video is a really weird one because I wasn't going to do it. It wasn't meant to happen, but I have a horrible habit of massively zoning out during any sort of like negative vibe moment. My brain goes, I don't think about it, I deal with it in the moment and it's done, and it didn't happen, and it's not that healthy. For one, I should cope with things and deal with things, but it also means that when I'm talking about things online and trying to like let people know what my experiences are like, there's whole big chunks of it that I just completely forget about and zone out of and don't think about. Or alternatively, there's lots and lots of things that I think I refer to as though like they're things that happened to me as a kid or happened as a teenager, when they are in fact things that still regularly happen, and I've just learned to work around them and try not to let them. So the big one today is that I've got this lovely makeup on my face. I mean, there's not an awful lot left, to be fair, but I was at Liverpool Pride today, and obviously that's quite a big event. There were a lot of moments that were quite loud and bright and social, and it's one of the kind of things that like I really enjoy it. I go like every year. It's massively something that I really enjoy and support, and like there's elements of it that I don't love, but you know, it's worth doing for me. But it brings back one of the things that used to happen all of the time. And it used to happen all the time because I was doing not things like Pride all of the time, but for me, things like school and just having to go into like bright, loud environments where I'm expected to socialise, they all affect me in sort of quite a similar way. And if it's also like a negative space where like negative social interactions are happening, that's obviously all the more difficult for me to handle. But that means that like I was in those situations a lot when I was younger, so it's very much something I refer to as something that like used to happen, and I haven't gone into what's actually happening yet. So it's the thing of, I get home and I'm like, what a lovely day, I had a lovely time, that was such a nice time, really enjoyed that, I'm really glad that I did that, like go me. You know, I get anxious about things, I cancel things quite a lot, I often don't have the energy to do stuff. So getting around to actually do something and then enjoying it, good for me, you know, like I socialise with a new person, I have a nice day, I go, and then I sit here for a bit and I like watch a bit of a show and I go back to my normal routine, and everything should be fine, everything should be absolutely like dandy, it should be all nice. But it isn't. I don't feel right, I don't feel good, I feel big bad. You know, I start thinking about like, there's wars in the world and it's so sad, and capitalism sucks, and this sucks, and this sucks, and this is really bad, and I hate this and I hate that. And I get really upset, and I get really sad, and I get really overwhelmed with just like the way that the world is. And it's one of those things where looking back on past, because like I say, it happened all the time as a teenager, and being able to look back on those times, I've been very easily able to work out it's a case of like, you've been overwhelmed all day and just pushing it down and dealing with it and getting through it. And now that you're not overwhelmed and you're in like a safe space, you can get back to your routine, all of the overwhelm and all of the stuff that you had to push down is here because you're in a safe space. So that's causing the tism meltdown that you probably should have had at some other point during the day that you just shoved back and didn't deal with because of sensory issues and because of masking and all of the other stuff. So you're going to have it now. And because I have this like silly little logical part of my brain that has to understand everything and break everything down and work out what everything is, I can't just have the meltdown in peace. I have to think of like 70 billion reasons that would be more logical for me to not feel good than the actual reason of just like bottled up overwhelm throughout the day. So I just make myself feel really sad about loads of other things when it's just the bottle up of emotions and all of the stuff for the day. And it's the thing of like, I've very much been taught to not have meltdowns and just deal with it and don't do that. Like, just fucking be a normal person, you know? So I find it very difficult to not, to like just naturally react to the way that I feel to things. So instead my brain like works all logically out and it's like, actually you feel really upset about the fact that capitalism exists and that there's wars going on. That's what it really is. And like, I know that it's not, I know that's not what's going on, but that's what my brain tries to put in us, you know? And it's so frustrating to be able to realise this is the thing that's happening. I just don't know what I'm meant to do about it, you know? Like, I'm genuinely just sitting around feeling really crappy. And even though it's been a really nice day, I just feel sad about it, and I shouldn't, because it's been a really nice day. I should feel really happy about it. It's been really good. I got to spend it with my best friend and a new person. It was lovely. And yet I feel like shit. And because of that, I have to like, I was going to say logicize, but that's not the word. Like break it all down into like, oh, you feel bad about this and this and this. And then because I've like figured out what's making me feel bad when that's not even actually the case, I'm then like, okay, so I figured that out and there's nothing I can do about how I'm feeling. So let's just zone out. Let's just leave this plane of existence, being gone, you know? And it's just really fucking annoying. And I feel like that's the thing with like so many different parts of being autistic, because that's like, yeah, I figured it out. I don't know how the fuck I'm meant to fix it. I don't know what I'm meant to do to deal with this. Because I don't want to just sit around feeling like shit. But I also like, I don't know what I'm meant to do, because it's just my own little thoughts, you know? Like if I go for a walk, I'm still with them. If I watch a show, I'm still with, like they're in my head, they don't go away. And I say that, but I do, you can't see him. Do you want to see him? I'm going to show you him. I've got my oat man. He sticks around and he's been absolutely adorable since I got home. See, the thing with Otis is I don't think he misses me, but I do think he's always happy that I'm back. And that's a lovely, lovely trait for a cat to have. I absolutely adore my little man. He's just the greatest. So I come home, I spend time with him. Before I went out, I was watching Ashes to Ashes. That's been my thing for the last couple of days. And I had like 15 minutes of the last episode left. And I was like, no, because this is when I start to cry. Like the last 20 minutes of Ashes to Ashes, I just cry. It's just horrible for me. I don't know why I keep putting myself through it, to be honest. It's just that I love the rest of the show so much. And I was just like, I'm not crying over a straight couple before I go to Pride. I'm not crying over Gina right before I go to fucking Pride. So I just paused it and left it. So I got in and watched that and had a little cry to it. And that was where like the general downward spiral began. But it's one of those things where like I know it's not because of that, you know? Like I rewatch that multiple times a year, and that's just how, you know, I do my little cry to it and then I'm fine. Because it's over the show, it's over my characters, it's because I love them so much. It's not a negative cry, it's a I love this thing so much cry. It's a whole separate thing to what's going on now, you know? But I was hoping to some degree that having that like sort of or like emotional release or whatever would mean that I wouldn't then have the whole feeling awful, brain gone, don't be here, everything's awful vibe. But I've gotten it anyway, so that was unnecessary emotional turmoil. I'm constantly telling people to watch this show, and then I'm like, so the emotional turmoil that it causes me is actually quite extreme. It's a brilliant show, it's the best show in the whole world, okay? It's literally the only show I like more than Doctor Who. It's the perfect show, it's the best show, it's everything. Yeah, I'm gonna like follow my routine. I'm gonna finally cook myself a fucking meal. I've just had a whole bunch of days of takeout or not eating anything, and that sucked. And I've got some noodles, I've got some frozen chicken things. I'm going to like actually cook myself a meal. There's some frozen peas. I might even get real fucking fancy with it and throw them in the pan with my noodles. Wow. I think it's just like I start every sentence with one of the same like 4 phrases that I have. I'm sorry, I don't like it about myself. You're just gonna have to deal with it, because that's what I do. But it's also just the thing of like, it sucks because I got home feeling so good. Like I have niggles with Pride. Like I don't like how like commercial and capitalist it's become. I don't like that there's so many police officers there. Like I have my niggles, but on the overall, on the big side of things, it's so lovely to see people just so loudly being themselves, and seeing so many people so loudly being themselves, and getting to like just feel like a part of the crowd, you know? Like as much as like the noise and the hustle of it all, and like it's an overwhelming environment for me as an autistic person, it's overwhelming. It's not anxiety inducing the way that crowds often are for me, because it's just so visibly queer. I'm just like, it's safe. Like it feels safe, you know? As much as it is still overwhelming, it's such a safe space, and it's so fucking nice to be there with my friends and to like be able to just relax, you know? Like, as much as I still don't enjoy being perceived and I'm still like quite overwhelmed and everything's still a bit too bright and a bit too much and a bit too loud, you know, like the actual like social anxiety that isn't me being autistic, or like the like so many of the other sides of me as a person outside of the tism, like just relax, and it's so easy to exist there for like a few hours, you know? That's really, really lovely and it's really nice. But yeah, I think I didn't really intend to lay down, I just started doing it when it happened. I think I'm probably gonna put my pyjamas on next, have a cuppa. I don't know what to watch. Because like I said, I finished Ashes to Ashes when I got in, and honestly, I do really just want to start it again. I really want to start it again. But I did also watch the first like 20 minutes of Stonehouse, about like the politics. It's got Keely Hawes in it. I really want to watch stuff with Keely Hawes in it. But I also, Keely Hawes is a weird one for me, because on the one hand she is my absolute all-time favourite actress because she plays Alex Drake, and Alex Drake is my absolute all-time favourite character. But watching other things with Keely Hawes in is always a bit weird for me, because I'm like, you sort of have Alex Drake's face, but you're not Alex Drake, and you don't really entirely look like her. And you sort of sound like her, but not quite. Like, it's, if anything, she's just too good an actress. But it's like, you're nearly the person that I absolutely love and adore and would give my entire heart and soul and life to in every way possible. But you're just not quite her. It's weird. It weirds me out. I also love her. So I might watch Stonehouse. Might just restart Ashes to Ashes. But that'll be after my cuppa and after I've put pyjamas on. And then after I've watched an episode or two of something, I'm going to make myself my noodles and chicken. I'm really hoping I get to talk to my best friend on the phone at some point, even though I saw them today. I miss them a lot. I love them a lot. It's a bit gay. But yeah, that's going to be my evening. I probably should edit this, to be fair, because church tomorrow has the Pride service, and then we've got the congregational lunch, and it's the last one until September. We've got a whole break. I've made like cookies and cupcakes to take with me. And with it being the last one for a while, I'd like to get some people's numbers and like organise like some more coffee times or something, because I really like the people I go to church with, to be fair. I should be in bed early enough to actually get some sleep and not be super groggy for that. So yeah, I tell you that because it's times like this that having a plan for the routine that I'm going to follow is really, really helpful, even though I am basically doing what I do every night anyway. Like, just having it laid out as a plan of the routine, I find helps me a lot. I think that's the thing as well, is when I'm talking about it after I've dealt with it, I'm like, and then I dealt with it, it was done, I sorted it. And it's like, I couldn't tell you how I sorted stuff. I just do what I need to do to make it work. And a lot of the time it is things like, I planned my routine, I did this. But because I'm so like out of it and just dealing with the thing, I don't consider it or think about it all that much. But yeah, before I started this, I was feeling extremely, extremely negative, you know, in the way where it like starts feeling like your chest is all tight because you need to cry but you're not, and it just, you can feel the negativity like in your body, and it's just not very nice. I felt like that, and I don't feel like that now. And I think that's where, like, as much as I don't necessarily like it when other people say it, talking can really help, you know, even if it's just to a camera, even if you don't necessarily show it to anyone, if you want to call a friend, you know, like whatever option you have for it. And like, to be fair, there's people I could call if I wanted to do it to a person, but I think I quite often benefit from just having the sort of like line of a dialogue, like a monologue. It's literally a monologue, that's what they're called. Like, just being able to have my thoughts laid out for myself in an easier way than having them all jumbled up inside, you know? Like, as much as I do hope these videos help out other people, you can help, like, figure out your own stuff somewhat from me trying to figure out my stuff. They're also massively beneficial to me figuring out my stuff. But that is the end of today's video. I know these aren't usually the types of videos that I do on a Sunday, but I think I'm probably posting it on Tuesday instead, because I've got my BJD and I really want to set her up, and like I've got lore for it, I have a story, I want to like do all that. So I think that's going to be my next video, which I would have liked to be Sunday's video, but I want to do it when I have like really good vibes, you know? I want it to be a really nice thing. So I am going to go for now. So yeah, I post here on Tuesdays, Thursdays and Sundays, as you mostly just heard. So you can subscribe if you want to, that'd be really nice. I'm getting really close to 10,000 subscribers. I know I've said in other videos at this little part, but that's wild to me. That is when a YouTuber is a YouTuber to me. That's always been my thought pattern. That is when you're like actually cemented as doing YouTube. So that's a bit wild for me. Even though I think it's really only my own perception in that degree. But yeah, so that's really exciting. So if you did want to subscribe, now would be the time. It'd be really cool if you wanted to. If you wanted to also like the video, I believe that helps me in the algorithm. I don't really know how it all works. I just want to make helpful content, really. So yeah, there's that. I also post over on TikTok and Instagram. You can see my pictures from prior today if you want to follow me on Instagram. They'll be linked down below. I've just scared off my cat. Along with my Patreon and Ko-fi, so that if you wanted to donate monetarily to me, you can do, but there is no pressure. You don't have to. It's absolutely okay if you don't. And I'm thinking I might film my evening routine. That could be fun. I don't know. No, I don't think I'm going to. I would like to vlog again soon though, I think. I did quite enjoy that, but I was doing vlogs when I had like a much better routine and sort of better grasp on things, and felt like I was actually showing you like me doing something, and I don't feel like I really do anything at the minute. You'd just be watching me sitting here watching stuff on my laptop, like we'll see. I should have vlogged today to be fair, but I don't like filming in public. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you have an lovely morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will see you again in a couple of days.